former White House ethics lawyer under President Obama, Norm Eisen. My brother, it has been so long. I have missed you. It's good to see you.
Right back at you, Chris. Great to be with you.
So, when it comes to the law, where is the line for what the executive can do with an agency like USAID or the Department of Education or any of them?
Well, Chris, if you draw that line and you take 10 steps over the line, that's where Donald Trump is. These baseless allegations of kickbacks at USAID, meddling with the authority of Congress under Article 1 of the Constitution, they get to say if Trump does or does not spend or freeze the USAID money. These are funds that Congress has appropriated to help pregnant moms around the world, kids to get vaccines, the hungry around the world. What happened to America as the city on the hill? I was taught that we proudly help people around the world. So Donald Trump is over the legal line, the constitutional line, and way over the moral line with these baseless allegations of kickbacks.
So we'll leave the morality to the side for now. Kickbacks aside, waste, fraud, and abuse is a very tasty catchphrase in politics. Everybody's in favor of things that they believe through political mandate no longer reflect the policy agenda of the country. That's not the problem if it's identified. It's not the what, it's the how, Norm. How can Elon Musk do what he was asked to do by Trump, which is to find waste, fraud, and abuse, and how can he not do it?
Well, Chris, there are so many questions about Elon Musk. He's been described as a special government employee. That's a category of somebody who's on loan to the government, an expert. But a special government employee does not mean you're immune from the ethics rules. So we have questions like, he's involved in cutting government spending and affecting these government agencies. Is he involved in agencies that regulate him? SpaceX, his business, regulated by NASA, the Pentagon, and others. Tesla, his car business, regulated by the Department of Transportation and other entities. What is he doing to follow the rules? They say he's a special government employee. We need more information. We need transparency to see whether Mr. Musk is over the line. His DOGE operation, the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, is in the United States Treasury servers that have some of the most sensitive information. Chris, there's stuff in there about you and me and our families. Where's his legal authorization to be there? I filed a lawsuit challenging the way that that's been handled. It was so alarming. We don't know the exact details. Again, shrouded in secrecy and darkness, that the career Department of the Treasury official in charge of this walked off. Is that a coincidence that he walked off just as Mr. Musk wanted to get a hold of these and the DOGE get a hold of this information sensitive in the Treasury? That raises profound legal questions, just like with Donald Trump. Country of laws, you got to follow the laws. We need answers to these questions.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.